expertise in programming languages would lose its significance over the next few years.
This any AI machine can't do yet.
I'm looking for engineer managers, not engineers anymore.
If you were to start over again, what would you learn differently?
The fundamental for AI is nothing but
Yes, we did eliminate jobs.
Many people feel like a panic.
any machine a man can make is more sharper, more stronger.
Is the AI being used to assist workers or is it being used to replace?
I just spent 2 days at RSAC with 40,000 people, hundreds of companies, and everyone is asking the same question. What does it actually take to succeed right now? You hear it everywhere. AI is changing everything, but what does that really mean for your career? What should you learn? What can you stop worrying about? And what are companies actually looking for in hiring? I had a theory, but instead of just guessing, I went straight to the source. I spoke to 5 leaders at the conference, and these are people who are hiring, building teams, and making decisions every single day. I asked them, what are the skills that actually matter in the AI era? And their answers were clear. RSAC was all about AI agents this year. Every company, every panel, and every conversation was about AI agents that can browse the web, write code for you, analyze security threats, and make decisions in real time. The era of AI doing the work for you is already here. And with this, there's a big shift coming that impacts your skills and your career in the future. You can think about it this way: for the last 20 years, if you wanted a job in tech, you learned a language, maybe Python or JavaScript, you got really good at coding, and you studied leak code to land a job. That was the game. But at this conference, I kept hearing something different that caught me off guard. What do you think is something that engineers are focused on learning right now that won't matter as much a few years from now?
I would say programming languages. Building expertise in programming languages would lose its significance over the next few years. In my own career, as I was doing my education in computer science, I remember that assembly language was considered very important. We had to learn assembly language because that's what a compiler produced. So we had to know what exactly would be running on the machine. But these days, nobody cares about it. So similarly, using AI coding assistant tools, engineers can specify what needs to be coded without actually having to do coding themselves.
Believe it or not, assembly language was a big thing for a while until it wasn't. And now he is saying that specific programming languages are on the same path, and he's not alone. How is AI changing what you're looking to hire in engineers?
Back in the day, you would typically match candidates on keywords and other factors of, they worked in this particular language or framework or they're comfortable with it. That is very easy to bridge the gap in many ways. And so both that matters less, but what matters more is right mindset in how you're building.
These are 2 completely different people from different continents of the world and from different companies, but the ideas here are the same. What you know part is less important now than how you think. But that just raises another question. If it's not programming languages and frameworks, what is it? I asked everyone who's on the ground hiring, what do you actually look for in candidates? And one theme kept coming up. And it's not technical skills. Well, it kind of is, but not really. So here's what I mean. How is AI changing what companies are looking for in engineers nowadays?
I'm looking for engineer managers, not engineers anymore. Because you can think about every new graduate, once they get into the industry, they promote themselves immediately to manager. Because you have a lot of agents, AI agents, do the actual work for you. They are the engineers today. So then you have to change your mindset from like being an engineer, taking care of lots of technical details, to the manager level, how to manage those agents. What is my goal? How can I make it more efficient? We are looking for people who have that kind of a mindset.
Okay, so she's saying that new grads are already operating at the manager level, not because they have the experience, but because the AI agents are doing the engineering work for us. And when I asked her what skills managers have versus an engineer, she says something very interesting.
So today, if you match to the human world, right? So manager definitely require more communication skills, right? You also communicate with the agent, which is like give them like a command and prompt, but make sure it's very precise, concise, and then trying to convey your idea in a more accurate way. So that's called, prompt engineering, so you can do a better job. I think the communication skills plays a very important role in that.
Prompt engineering is basically communication skills. So you're managing AI agents and tools instead of managing human engineers. And this idea keeps coming up that every engineer is now basically going through the same process a person would when you go from being an individual engineer to being a manager.
Many people feel like a panic because they sort of sacrifice a little bit understanding about technical details. And they need to kind of improve their communication skills. A lot of people feel panic. I feel, before that I understand the in and out, but now I don't understand details. So some people feel like nervous. But actually, you have to get used to that. You don't need a lot of details to make a big impact.
So let's get more specific here, because what is communication skills and what is thinking like a manager? So I went deeper to really understand what it looks like in practice. What exactly are the signals these hiring managers are looking for when they're reviewing resumes or going through interview cycles? Given the changes and opportunities and the skill sets, if you were to start over again, what would you learn differently?
Always focus on the problem you're trying to solve. As engineers, you used to spend a lot more time on the building, on the scaffolding, on the initial work. That matters so little in the scheme of things, that you want to understand what you're doing, why, who's using it, how are they consuming it, what could be done to give them an edge. And that's a lot more the play than thinking about and getting lost in the actual development cycle itself.
Shlomi is highlighting something really important here, that great engineers think about the problem and the users first instead of focusing on the tools. I see a lot of engineers doing the opposite of this. They get attached and fixated on a specific language or a tool, and then they try to force a problem to fit that language. And that approach is very limiting because a tool is just a tool. You use whatever tool that works best to solve the problem you're trying to solve. What's more interesting is how Shlomi uses this idea in interviews. He lets candidates use AI tools in the interviews because he's not testing your memory of syntax, but he's looking at how you think and how they solve problems using the tools available.
If you want to use a tool in the process, it's no different than in real life. During an actual job, you would use them. That's not inherently problematic, but if you're deferring to the agent, then that's more of a orchestration in a slow process. You want to understand what the problem is, but if you don't understand or recall a syntax for a particular language, it's fine. No one really does. You usually have an IDE helping you anyway.
So the point here is that you want to use AI, but know why you're using it, understand what it's doing instead of just handing off your thinking to the AI tools. And that is where the skill is. And he is not alone here. This is becoming the standard. So when you're looking for hiring engineers, when you want to recruit people, what type of skills are you looking for?
We look for obviously the technical part of the skills, but mostly we are also having a business acumen of the things, one. And the second one is having an analytical thinking and then math skills. So these are very important because it all dives down to the foundations and the fundamentals. The fundamental for AI is nothing but matrices, linear equations, and then a bit of geometry.
There's an element of black box in AI. So as an engineer, having a deeper understanding of what's really happening with AI, with whatever LLM that is being used. So to me, that is an area that if I were to do my education from the beginning, I would just focus more on that, having a deeper understanding of how AI works.
Okay, I want to address the thing that I know a lot of people watching this are actually worried about. Is AI going to take tech jobs? So I asked everyone for you, and the answers were way more nuanced than just yes or no. A lot of people who are looking to get into the field are worried about AI taking over tech jobs. What are your thoughts around those?
Oh, I've been involved in lots of system transitions. So this kind of goes back to like my career 15 years ago where I was involved in digital transformation. That's where we started automating. And when you automate solutions, it did displace workers, but you need to talk about that. So if your organization is moving towards AI, is the AI being used to assist workers or is it being used to replace? So it really goes back to having good change management. So what's your goal? What's your intent? And if your plan will disrupt the workforce, well, what's your plan to manage that? So will staff be moved to other positions? So in my experience with digital transformation, yes, we did eliminate jobs, but then we created new opportunities in the technology department. We created new roles in cybersecurity, new roles in planning and architecture. So yes, some roles will be impacted, but new roles will be created. So the question is, what are those new roles and how do you prepare for that?
Mary's been through this before, digital transformation, automation, and she's saying, yes, roles are changing, but new ones are also being created. The question is whether you're positioned for the new roles.
People are looking for judgment, communication, and also this strategy piece. So how do we deploy these solutions? Because at the end of the day, AI may speed up the process, but someone has to own the accountability.
So what we believe is AI is just another tool. Earlier there is the first revolution of industrial revolution, second, third, and then this is the fourth, maybe fifth, I don't care. But at the end of the day, human brain is more sharper, more stronger, or more critical than any machine a man can make. There's a layer about the intelligence we have, which adds emotions and everything. This any AI machine can't do yet. That's what I believe in. Anyways, human is always greater than an AI.
Okay, let's try to make it even more concrete. Here's what I took away from the 5 conversations at RSAC. The leaders I talked to are not looking for the person who knows the most tools, but they are looking for the person who can think clearly about problems and communicating that thinking to both humans and AI agents.
So I think I would learn more about, for example, like a psychology. I think right now it's becoming essential. You need to understand your users. User use your product. That's more important how you make the product. So it's very much like a human shift to answer why and what, and then leave the how to AI.
Understanding the technology, its capabilities and limitations, and applying it back to your work. So how can your company use this technology and gain benefits from it? But also personally, how can you use this technology to improve how you write your documents? How do you review items? But also research and brainstorming. So how do you leverage this technology to enhance your own potential?
I think the ability to move at a pace that hasn't been done before allows you to experiment in ways that typically wasn't possible in the past. And so it's more, if you have ideas, you have things you're thinking through and you think it could be better, you don't have to go through a cycle of experimenting with not a lot of resources. So you can almost create 3 or 4 prototypes of something you're trying, see what lands better, see what visually looks right or feels right to the end users. And that's a real good cheat code for how to move with extreme speed.
So they're all pointing to the speed, to experiment, and to learn, which is the real advantage in the future. It's not really about AI doing the work for you. It's more about AI improving your efficiency. You try something new, get feedback quickly, learn, and then try again. And that faster loop helps you experiment and learn faster. So the key skill here is not really the outcome, right? Not the answers or the code that you get from the AI tools, but it's more about running better experiments, asking better questions, and learning faster with the help of AI.
Of course, they have to stay on top of things and ensure that the generated code is doing what is expected to be done.
So staying on top of things, making sure AI tools are doing what it's supposed to be doing, that's the new job of engineers now. And honestly, that's sort of always been the job for engineers. I'll see you in the next one.